Good morning, everyone. How are you? What are you doing right now? Right now, you have so much time, so you can utilize your time in proper manner. Do not waste your time behind WhatsApp, Facebook, or any another social media. Yes, you can use it, but just you will have to manage the time over there. According to that, you will have to use each and everything over there. You can do creative work also. So please do not waste your time. Just this is your final year, so you can understand what I mean to say and what we will have to do right now. This is the last year of your college. In this year, we can't meet face to face. So you will have to learn each and every subject online. Eye contact must be necessary, but we are not able to do some of the things right now. So we have to accept it and we have to go in this manner. So you will have to attend each and every lecture regular. I am uploading YouTube videos. You will have to store each and every YouTube videos. At the time of examination, you can listen it. And you can do it from this. In near future, I will give you assignment also. So you can understand what you will have to do. I don't want to say something more about it. Let's continue our computer science syllabus. Right now we are in our second lesson, that is form control. And you are aware with that form is a platform of VB. Form control is a platform of Visual Basic. Each and every controls which is necessary for the project we can get here. In each and every project, minimum one form must be necessary there. It is very important control. That's why we can say that it is very important control. It is also known as container control. I am repeating this. Already I explained you in last session, but today I am starting it from form control because it is very important, and according to examination point of view it is also important. That's why in your examination it describes the form control. At that time you will have to write each and everything of form control, right? So maximum 254 controls we can set in a single form. We can utilize so many properties for form control. Out of them, some of the properties which we can utilize for other control also. So form, the property of form you will have to teach in very positive manner. You will have to learn in many positive manner. There are different type of properties which we can see in form. Now we have to make discussion about it, and first one is the name property. Name property is used to give name to the form for identification of form. Almost this property can be set for so many controls of VB. At the time of writing code, this name is used to identify the control. By using this property, we can give new name for the control. The default name of any control is there if their form is there, then form 1, form 2, form 3. If label is there, then label 1, label 2, label 3, etc. If textbooks is there, then text 1, text 2, text 3, etc. Some points will be taken into consideration when we have to give the name of form. Any control, when we have to give the name of any control at that time, some points should be taken into consideration. First one is there, the name of the control must be in maximum 40 characters. We can't give more than 40 characters as a name of, I mean to say, a name of any control. The first character must be alphabet. As the rest of the characters, we can utilize alphabets and digits, both numbers. We can utilize over there A to Z alphabets and 0 to 9 digits. So, as a name of form, I mean to say, as a name of a control, we can utilize alphabetic value, numeric value, right? Okay. Next one is there. If you want to make the division in the name of control, at that time only one sign is utilized, that is underscore sign. For example, if you want to give their name of form, their basic pay, then basic underscore pay. If you want to give their employee name, then emp underscore name. Like this, if you want to write the general register number, then gr underscore number. We can't utilize punctuation mark and space in name. Every time, for each and every control, we have to give their appropriate name for easy identification. For suppose, if we want to give their, I meant to say, we have to set their general register number, then we have to give their GR number. We don't have to give their A, B, C, etc. because we can't recognize it which type of information inside it. That's why it must be necessary over there. We can set these properties design time only. We can't set these properties runtime. Do not forget it. Name properties can be set only design time. We can't set these properties runtime. Our next property is the caption property. By using this property, we can set the title which can be displayed on any control that can be decided by using this property, in which we have to give particular text as a value. These properties can be set for form control, and we can set these properties for some more controls, that is checkbox, command button, option button, frame, label, menu. We can set these properties design time and run time, both method. We can set all the properties by two methods, design time and run time. Some of the properties we can set only design time. Some of the properties we can set only runtime. Some of the properties we can set design time and runtime both the methods. So these properties can be set design time and run time, both the methods. In design time, in property window, we have to write the value of the caption in caption. Just we have to write value in caption. And in runtime, you will have to write the code. For example, if you want to give the caption for form 1, every time we can see the title in title bar, right? In title bar, in form title bar, we can see there by default name form 1, form 2, form 3, form 4, form 5, etc. But instead of this form 1, form 2, form 3, just I would like to write their computer science. Otherwise, I want to write over there Visual Basic. At that time, we have to write their form 1 dot caption equal to inverted comma. If you want to write any character type of value, then you will have to write it in inverted comma. So I want to write their Visual Basic, then we have to write their Visual Basic. If you want to give this command, I mean to say this caption in for a command button, then command 1 dot caption equal to click me. Right? If you like this, we can give there. If we have to write a text in caption, right? So if we give this text and before that, if we put that ampersand sign, then the first character of that particular word become the hotkey of that particular words. For example, command 1 dot caption equal to exit, but into inverted comma E, then ampersand sign, then XIT. So X is hotkey. We have to utilize this hotkey with alter key. So when we press alter X, then we can come out. I mean to say, then exit command must be executed there. For these properties, we can set text color, font, style, etc. So this is very important property. There are different properties which we have to utilize over here. We are discussing one by one. We already discussed two properties, that is name and caption. Right? Name and caption. Now we have to move on our third property, that is appearance. The main characteristics of a form is the title bar, on which the form's caption is displayed. On the left end of the title bar is the control menu icon. Clicking this icon opens the control menu. You are aware with that there are three buttons in control menu, that is maximize, minimize and close buttons. Can be found on the right side of the form. Clicking on these buttons performs the associated function. We can see the control menu also and control button also. In control menu we can see the same options, and in control buttons we can see control menu and control buttons. In both the methods we can see that minimum, maximize and restore and close. The control menu contains the commands. First one, restore. Restore is a maximized form of the size. It was, before it was maximized, available only if the form has been maximized. Move lets the user move the form around with the mouse. Now size lets the user resize the control with the mouse. Minimize minimizes the form. Maximize maximizes the form. Close closes the form. Now starting the startup foam. A typical application has more than a single foam. When an application runs, the main foam is loaded. By setting the project properties, you can control which foam is to be displayed in the startup of the application. By default, Visual Basic suggests the name of the first foam created when the project started. Right? The next thing is there. Okay, we have to move. I mean to say some points is remaining there in this appearance. We can display in appearance. We can display the foam in two formation. That is, we can see the foam in 2 dimension or 3 dimension. That we can decide by using this appearance property. These properties can be set for foam control, and we can set these properties for some more controls also. That is checkbox, list box, command button, foam, option button, frame, picture box, image, text box, level, etc. The value of these properties, we can give only 2 values. The values of these properties is 0 and 1. So we can say that we can give there only 2 values for these properties. That is 0 and 1. By default, we can see our foam in 2 dimension effect. So for 2 dimension, the value is there 0. Without visual effects, we can see our foam in flat effect, with flat effect. Second value is the 1. It is by default value. With 3 dimension, it is 3 dimension. By default, we can see our foam in 3 dimension effect, right? We can't see our foam in 2 dimension effect. With 2 dimension effect, we can see our foam in 3 dimension effect. When we utilize this in practical, at that time I will show you, right? Okay, we can set these properties by both the methods, design time and run time. In design time, in property window, we have to give that 0 or 1 value. And why do you want to set this properties runtime? Then foam1 dot appearance equal to 0. By default 1 is there, but obvious we can see our foam in 3 dimension, and for 3 dimension 1 value is there, right? So every time we can see it in by default value. But when do you want to make the changes in it, then you will have to apply it. If instead of 3 dimension, if you want to see your foam in 2 dimension, then you will have to give that foam1 dot appearance equal to 0. Is it clear, everyone, what I meant to say? Now your next property is there. There are different properties which we can utilize over there. We have to see one by one each and every properties. Our fourth property is that height and width. Our next property is their height and width. We can set the height and width of foam in the form of twists. 1 inch equal to 1440 twists. When do you want to give height and width for your foam or any other control, then you will have to give the value in the form of twists. What is the measurement of twists? Now we have to look over there. 1 inch equal to 1440 twists. In other words, 1440 twists. 1 centimeter equal to 567 twists. We can set these properties for form controls, and we can set these properties for some more controls also. That is checkbox, list box, label, command button, text box, image, option button, form, shape, picture, frame, etc. We can set these properties by both the method design time and run time. Design time, in property window we have to give their proper value, and we can set the TWIFs. I mean to say we can set the height and width in the form of TWIFs. While runtime, I mean to say in code window, form1.height equal to 2500, level 1.width equal to 3500, like this. Our next property is their left and top. When you want to set your form from the left hand side of the screen and from the top side of the screen, at that time you will have to utilize these left and top properties in the form of TWIFs. You will have to give that TWIFs. So this property is where do you want to set your form from the main screen. You will have to decide the distance between both these two things. From the main screen to where do you want to set it, top side, where do you want to set it, left side, that you can decide by using these left and top properties. We can set these properties for some more controls also, that is checkbox, form, list box, command button, frame, text box, option button, image, shape, picture box and label. We can set these properties by both the methods design time and run time. Design time, in property window we have to give that proper value for it, and run time we have to write code in code window. Form1.left equal to 2450, level 3.top equal to 1500. We can set these properties by drag and drop also, right? Left and top, instead of left and top we can utilize the drag and drop also. By using it we can do it. Next, your next property is the window stat. This property determines the size, normal, maximized or minimized of the form useful for starting a minimized form. These properties can be set only for this control. I mean to say window state properties can be set for only form control. We can't utilize these properties for any other control. We can set these properties by both the methods design time and run time. We can give that three values for window stat property. By default our value is there 0. We can every time we can see our form in restore size in its original form. 1 for minimize. When do you want to open your form in with minimize? At that minimizes effect, at that time you will have to utilize this 1. You can give the three values, that is 0, 1 and 2. 0 is by default. Every time we can see it in our form in its original form, right? 1 is that minimize and 2 is that maximize. We can set these properties both the methods design time and run time. In design time we have to we have to give their proper value in property window, and while in run time we have to write proper code in code window. That is form1.window start equal to 1 or 2 according to your requirements. You can set it. Our next control is that max button. This property determines whether the form contains an active maximize window button. Again, these properties we can set only for form control. We can't utilize these properties for any other controls. During the execution of your project, do you want to display maximize button in your form or not? That you can decide by using this max button property. We can give there only two values, that is true and false. By default, we can always see this maximize button over there. So by default, its value is the true default value. We can get the maximize button, and second value is the false. We can't get their maximize button. If this property is false, then we can't set we can't get maximize button over there on a form. We can set these properties only by design time. We can't set these properties runtime. In design time, in property window, we have to give that true or false value for it. Our next property is our min button. This property determines whether the form contains an active minimize window button. If you set both the max button and min button properties to false, neither appears on the form. If we give their false value, then we can't see their maximize or minimize both buttons there. Okay, again there are two values, that is true and false. By default, its value is that true. But if you don't want to see their minimize button over there, then you will have to give that false. So we can't see that. We can set these properties only by one method, that is design time. In property window, we have to give that true or false value for it. We can't set these properties runtime. Our next property is their enabled. Right? Our next property is their enabled. During the execution of your project, do you want to activate your form control or other control in activate condition or not? That you can decide by using these enabled properties. When do you want to activate or not your form or other control during the execution of project, that you can decide by using this enabled property. We can set these controls for frame, image, menu, label, list box, text box, command button, option button, picture box, timer, and form control also. We can set these properties. There are two values we can give for these properties, enabled properties, that is true and false. Our default value is that true. During the execution of your project, all the other controls can be activated. False, deactivate. During the execution of project, we can't make any processing on it. We can set these properties by both the method design time and run time. Design time, we have to give the true or false value in property window. Runtime, we have to write their form1.enable equal to false, command2.enable equal to true. Right, so you can understand what I mean to say. Our 10th next one property is the font properties. Our next property is the font property. I think just we have to do it in our next session. It's over today. Now see you soon again. All of you take care.